What's going on, everybody? It's Barmine from Barmine Tech, and today we're going to work on the must-have tools when you make a new Windows 11 machine for either a VM or a physical machine. So I'm going to show you what it's going to look like when it's all done. So this is my new Windows 11 machine, and you can notice that the taskbar isn't over here anymore in the middle. It's actually back with the old style start menu, and it's missing all the bloatware. So if you want to see how to do this, just make sure you watch the rest of the video, and you can have it just like this for your machine. So stay tuned, and I'll show you how to do it. So to start, before we can do anything, we need a couple things. We need to have a Windows 11 machine, which I have. I built one up last night in Proxmox, and if you need help building a Windows 11 machine, I have a video on how to make a Windows 11 VM in Proxmox. It's a little tricky, so follow along with the video and you can have it no problem. But I just gave it a simple machine. It's 4 gigs of memory, 4 cores of a processor, and all the needed information that's needed for a Windows 11 VM. But that's how I have it set up for my Windows 11 VM, and now we're going to get Explorer Patcher. So as you can see now, I am RDP'd into my Windows 11 machine. It's a brand new machine, so it doesn't have anything on it, and it's full of bloatware, which is fine with me. We're going to take care of that stuff today. So we're just going to get rid of this real quick, and we'll get Chrome. So now that we have Chrome installed, we could actually start with doing the Explorer Patcher. So we can paste that in there, and I'm going to put the link to it in the below in the description. But this is the GitHub for Explorer Patcher, so if you're not familiar, this is what's going to be helping us make Windows 11 be a lot better by realigning the taskbar and changing some other settings. This is the GitHub where you get the latest project, and you can see that it came out, the latest version came out 3 weeks ago. So I'm just going to click over here, download it, and we're going to download the file and get going. So I'm going to download it and we'll be right back. So after you grab the exe or the zip and you start running it, it's going to start coming up asking if you want to allow it to make changes. We're going to click yes, and I'm going to start running it, and now Explorer Patcher is going to start to install and run itself, and you can see over here my taskbar is getting a little wonky, and that's because Explorer Patcher is actually working. You actually have the Windows icon over here again, and we give it a couple seconds, it's still working, so we'll be back when it's all done running. So after a couple minutes, you'll get a little pop-up saying that Explorer Patcher is successfully installed. The pop-ups look like just like typical Windows notifications, so you might think that it's like an add-on for Chrome or maybe a program or something, but it's actually Explorer Patcher. It's how they send notifications. And as you can see, I have my Windows icon and everything shifted back over, so it's looking good to start. But if I click to open up the tile icon, it still gives me this menu, so we're going to work on fixing this. So if you actually right click on the taskbar and you come with the properties, it's going to open up the properties for Explorer Patcher, and this is how we're going to fix stuff. So we can start over with the options in the taskbar. So I gave it the Windows 10 options by default, and then they have just a ton of different options that you can configure, but I'm going to go over the basic ones that I like to do. So I like to do the start menu, and we're going to change it to Windows 10. So then we're going to keep going through. There's more options as you go through. We're going to mess with them as we go. So let's see, so if I open that up, now we see I have the Windows 10 again, but I need to get to move it over. So we're going to do it at screen edge. Now I have it so it's opening back up like how the original Windows menu used to open up. So there's a bunch of other options on this one, like you can change how many frequent apps you want to show, if you're using multiple displays, which monitor you want to be the primary monitor, more tiles, if you want the design to be rounded or not. Let's see, so we do that. I got these cool rounded edges, nice little satisfying look to it. You can change the display mode or the app list. It's all stuff you can mess with, but you can keep messing with these and you can find the combination that you like. We also can mess with the system tray, so that would be this little caret down here. Hold on, let me move the picture of me so you can see it. There, now you can see it. So this would be this little caret down here that has the extra programs that are running in there, so you can change some stuff in there if you want, but I'm going to leave that default. I also like to change the File Explorer options. So I do like Windows 11 File Explorer a lot because it added new features, like you could open up multiple tabs and stuff like that. Let's resize this a little bit so I can work with it with both of these here. So we can do some different stuff too. If we look through here, we have for the settings marked with stars, you can open or save file dialogues or register as utility as a shell extension using this option. So that's okay. So we can disable using the Windows 11 context menu, always use legacy trial transfer dialog. You could use the classic groupings, or you could use the Windows 11 ones. So after you play through the different options with Explorer Patcher and File Explorer, you can look at some of the other ones. We did start menu already. We can change some of the stuff. So if you want to change like the default key for switching windows, you could do it through there. They have the different versions. You could change your weather options, and then they have some other stuff where you can do some of the keyboard shortcuts and stuff like that. So we're just trying to leave these default, but you could look through here and mess with how you want to do it. Updates, you can change how File Explorer, File Patcher updates. So you can make it that updates automatically when a PC comes on, or it'll pop up and it'll say there's an update, or you can just come in here and you do the right-click properties, check for updates. I've noticed that usually about every month or so there's a new update for it. The project's still active, the creators are still making new updates for it, so it is a good product to keep using, and I like it because it makes Windows a little more nicer to use. There are some actual system settings that you can change if you want. I leave this stuff default because I don't need to change it, and then we have the about, where we can just see the information on the project and the developer info and stuff like that. So nice little project, and Explorer Patcher is super simple because it's going to help you make Windows a lot better, Windows 11 a lot better. If you were really a Windows 10 user, or even though the older Windows 7, 8, not 8, 8 was horrible, but Vista, 7, 10, stuff like that, you're probably going to want to use this tool because it's going to help you feel more familiar with what it is. I like the idea of the middle taskbar and how the design came out, but it just wasn't right for how Windows was to me, and I like this how it works better. One thing to note with Explorer Patcher is that your antivirus might get tripped by it. It could happen because of how it operates. It's not that it's malware, it's just that that's because the actions that Explorer Patcher does, an antivirus can see it as malicious. So if your AV gets tripped up saying, we found something, it's just because that's how it works. You can make a whitelist or an exclusion or whatever it may be for Explorer Patcher so it doesn't keep alerting on it and keep using it. But now let's move on to the next one. The next tool that is a must on Windows or Windows 11 or any of them is using the Windows debloater. Really on 10 and 11 these are a must because Windows just makes that the packages come so bloated with extra stuff that you don't need. Running one of these debloater tools is a must. You can find a bunch online, but we're going to run this one, so I'm going to show you how to do that. So we can run this one by just copying the script and running it in PowerShell. So we're going to come over here, we're going to click on the Windows 10 debloater GUI. This is the one that's going to give us a menu of what to run. There are different options, like this one up here is just a silent remover, so it's just going to run through, and I believe that this one is simpler. So I'm just going to come over here, I'm going to open up this file, and I'm going to come over to this icon, we're going to copy the raw file, so it's going to give me all the code. And I'm going to come over here, I'm going to open up PowerShell, we're going to run as an administrator. Click yes, and we're going to give PowerShell a second to open up, because it does take a second on the command line. And we're just going to right click and we're going to paste everything in. We're going to give it a minute, and as it's going through, it'll start running. So it does take a minute to get everything pasted in, and then it's going to start running. So once it starts running, it's going to pop up a menu, and we're going to wait for that. After it stops, you might need to click enter too, and that might get it to run. I had to click enter, I don't know, it might be either way, it depends on how PowerShell wants to run it. But this is the Windows, it says Windows 10 debloater, but it's going to work the same way. So you can actually open up, I always thought this was the coolest thing, as you do it, you could open it up and you can watch everything disappear. So what you do is remove all bloatware, and you can see it's running the scripts in the background. And you can actually open this up on the taskbar, and you can start watching stuff disappear as it goes. So it's just a little cool feature that I always thought was cool. We used to do this at work. At one of my internships, we always used the debloaters to get Windows machines prepped, and you can see it's going to start removing stuff as it goes. So we'll be back after this is done. After it's done running, you'll see it'll say finish all task, and then we can come back over here, and they have more options that we can do. So we can disable Cortana, because don't want that on the computer, and then we can disable Edge PDF, and we can actually put dark theme on, which is cool. So now you can see I have a generic dark theme across the windows. If I open up File Explorer, it might not apply, but we could do stuff like this in Explorer Patcher. You can change the design settings. And then there's some other stuff. You can uninstall OneDrive, you can unpin the start tiles, which was already done. You could disable the telemetry and tasks, so we can do that too. And that's just the stuff that Windows used to spy on you, and then you can remove the bloatware reg keys. So if I open this back up, why not at the moment because there's so much going on. I might have overloaded the debloater tool, but that is how you would remove all the bloatware on the computer. You can see all that stuff is gone in the start menu, and my PC is going to run a lot better using this. Now this isn't just for VMs, it can also be used on physical machines as well. So these are two of the tools that are a must for me when I start up a new Windows 11 machine or a Windows 10 machine using the debloater. The debloater gets used on both machines no matter what. But the Explorer Patcher is a must for me when using a Windows 11 machine, just because it makes the Windows 11 machine feel a little more native and how it should to me. It's just what I like. I like the taskbar the way it is, and I like the different customizable options that it gives. So if you guys like this video, make sure to subscribe, like, and drop a comment, if it helped you out, or if you have a tool that you like to use when you start up a fresh Windows machine. Like I said, these can be used on physical machines or VMs. It doesn't matter. It's going to work both ways. But if you like the video, make sure to subscribe and check out the Discord server. We have a community growing. We've been chatting a lot about different projects and helping each other figure stuff out. And I also will make sure to drop all the links in the description for the two projects or tools, whatever you like to call them, that you'll need for the debloater tool and for the Explorer Patcher. So make sure to check out the description for those links, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.